Savannah, and you're watching Nerdy Cat 96. So this will be a segment of In the Kitty Corner with Captain, talking about Tempests and Slaughter by Tamora Pierce. If you don't know what it's about, it's kind of like, so I keep describing it as ancient times Harry Potter. It's like not Harry Potter. I haven't seen pictures. It's not an illustrated book. I haven't seen pictures of what the characters dress like, the female characters, but this is like an off the shoulder like purple dress, as you can see. And I found it at the Salvation Army, and when I saw it, I was like, I feel like I'm just thinking like a toga. Like that's what this dress made me think of. So I was like, I want to get that and wear it in my Tempests and Slaughter video. Before I get my cat, I just wanted to like prance around in this little outfit. Do I look like a Karthaki? I feel like I look like ancient. I'm sorry for dancing around so much. I like pinned all of my hair back and braided a couple of strands. I don't know why. I'm so excited. Alright, so here we are with Captain. I definitely went into this probably with the expectation of it being like Harry Potter, which was really not cool on my part. I feel like I probably would have enjoyed this more if I had known anything about the book going into it, and potentially if I'd read some of the books that this book is a prequel for. Yeah, it follows Aram Draper, who starts the book off at 10 years old, and he is at a school for mages, and he's extremely powerful, like the most powerful mage of his age for sure. He's progressing through his classes very quickly, surpassing a lot of his classmates just because he's so powerful and just ahead of the rest of them in his learning. It follows his two friends that he meets after he causes a major ruckus because of his immense power, and it's decided that he needs a more rigorous curriculum. He meets the one girl, Varese, who's like this beautiful girl. She's a couple years older than he is, but she's also like very ahead of the rest of her classmates. And then he is placed in a room with this boy named Ozorn, who is called the Leftover Prince, because the Emperor has all of these heirs to the throne, but he is like the very, very, very last in line. I did really enjoy this book. Since it's like the first book in a prequel series, a lot of kind of world building I feel had to be done, which is just to be expected in any first book, really, especially when it's high fantasy. I thought that there could have been a few more like major conflicts in the book. It's not that the book totally lost my interest or anything at any point, but my interest definitely waned. So if you haven't read the book and it sounds like something that you might enjoy, please go check it out before proceeding any further in this video, because I will be delving into many of the events that happen throughout the entire book, and I will definitely be discussing the ending. So, please leave now if you haven't read this, and otherwise, you can just hang out and hear my thoughts. Aram. I listened to like a little part of the audiobook. I did hear how a lot of the names were pronounced. Aram. You probably can't see, but I now have cat hair all over everything, which is why I wanted to show you my dress before I brought him into this. One thing that Aram says when Varese walks in after he's like been called to the office, he's been called to the principal's office because he flooded his classroom. He meets Varese and he's like, someday I'm gonna marry that girl. I did enjoy that he dated other girls though, like first, like briefly and not serious at all. But I feel like it is important to get that sort of like experience before you go after like your perfect girl or whatever, because it's realistic. I'm gonna have a hairball, and it's your fault. After I forced you to be in this video. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next books of this particular series, but I do have some information about the main character because I looked on Wiki, and I'm really sad that I did now because I did not want to know the things that I know. So one of my other favorite things about this book was Preet, the Sunbird. She was so cute. I just love like how she like endears all of the masters and everything to her. Everyone just like feeds her. And then there's the part where Master Cosmos is like, I'll give you some of that mead that you like. Don't worry about missing this party. But yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I'm really glad that he didn't have to give her back. Every time Enzi would show up again, I was like, no, he's gonna take Preet. But he never takes Preet, so I was very happy. Hopefully he never finds the perfect gift to give to the sun god, and we can just keep Preet forever throughout the rest of the series, or maybe the sun god will like notice and be like, oh, that's cool, you're taking good care of her. Like, yeah, she's always like singing people to sleep and singing them awake, and she's just like the perfect like bird pet. I like how everyone just like kind of like understands her. As I was saying before, I was slightly disappointed. I think that it would have been rated a lot higher for me if I had gone into this book knowing nothing, and if I hadn't seen all these blurbs from like my favorite authors on this book. Her writing is very, like, I do enjoy it. I really enjoy how descriptive it is, and I love how much she talks about like the different ways that he's like learning to use his abilities. I love learning about like how to use magic. I feel like I was just expecting more like plot twists or something. Well, I guess getting Preet from Enzi was a really big thing, but I thought that like there was going to be a conflict with that, and then there never was. Like, I thought that the sun god was going to notice, but nothing ever happened. Like, everything was just totally cool. Fozzie, she is killed, and I really thought that we were going to like find out more about that in the book. So that was one thing, like, and I felt like her death was pretty like anticlimactic. Is it just me? I didn't really feel much when I like read that part about them finding her body at the bottom of the river. It sounded like it was like all chopped up into little pieces and like wrapped in burlap and stuff. So that's pretty horrifying. And I guess like I can't get too mad about not finding out about things because this is a series. It's not like a standalone book. Is it pretty obvious? I feel like it's definitely Master Chioke who is doing all this bad stuff. I feel like Fozzie would not have. She just seems so nice. I feel like she wouldn't have called the lightning snakes. She didn't have it in her to kill an entire ship full of people. I definitely think that it was Chioke. There's just like all sorts of suspicious things that he's done. It doesn't even seem like he's an actual master, because he doesn't even know what Preet is. All of the other masters, like Fozzie was the only one. She wasn't a master yet. That's why she couldn't tell. That needs to be explained more, definitely. And it was just really suspicious because Chioke is the one who like recommended her for the job that she just like up and left the university for. He's definitely behind all this. He definitely like killed her and put her at the bottom of the river. And he definitely called on the lightning snakes. So he probably started doing all this research and found out how you can call lightning snakes. Or maybe she was just talking, I don't know. Maybe she told him, didn't realize that he was like evil and horrible. So Diop, the Sirajit student that was a roommate to Aram and Ozorn, it seemed like something bigger was going to happen with him too. They got in a lot of like little tiffs. So what did you guys think of Ozorn? He would always get in these dark moods, and he would need an elixir to put him back to rights. I feel like that's just something that's not usually in fantasy. Like it's a very common theme in contemporary, but it's not something that you usually see in like fantasy or sci-fi books, because usually like the main focus is on those fantastical elements of the plot. Let's talk about Varese and Aram again. I really enjoyed the way that they like slowly came together, and I was so happy with the payoff in the end. I was very concerned that I wasn't gonna get any sort of payoff. I thought it was funny that like she kissed him on the mouth like 3 separate times, and he's like, "But I'm pretty sure she didn't mean to do that. She just did it because she was in a rush." Aram, you're so freaking stupid. And I was like, okay, well, she's done it like very obviously on purpose 2 other times, so I feel like this would probably be on purpose too. But anyway, then like when they kiss for real at the end, that made me really happy. It seems like in most middle grade books, authors don't usually talk about like puberty at all, and so I thought it was cool that it was touched on in here. That's something that a lot of middle grade people, we go through puberty when we're around 12, and all these changes start happening to our bodies, and a lot of times we don't know a whole bunch about it, and it's like not talked about, so it seems shameful. So I just thought it was really cool that they talked about Aram going through puberty a little bit, so that people realize that it's just a normal thing that everyone goes through. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. I already talked about the wiki fandom that I found accidentally. I learned too much. I definitely want to read more of Tamora Pierce's books. Like I said, I enjoy her writing style. It's just this particular book didn't have as grabbing of a plot as I would have liked, and as I kind of expected, just because of all of these like great things that are like written all over the book, and probably also because of the whole like ancient times Harry Potter idea that I had in my head. Well, I've blabbered on enough, I think. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my username is @nerdycat1996. If you want to check out my Goodreads, I will leave the link in the description, because I found out that on my past 2 videos I gave the wrong link, and it's my old Goodreads that I don't use anymore. And my new URL for Goodreads is like really long and has a bunch of random characters, so I'm not going to put it up on here. I am a lot more active on there. I went and I like updated all the books that I read this year. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, the cats and I will see you next Wednesday. I'm Savannah. This is Captain. Bye! You're so cute.